Hello and welcome back to Don't Press Play, the podcast where we press play so you don't have to. I'm your host, Alex, and before we start this week's episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that checked out my latest episode on the Blair Witch from 2016. It seemed to do really well. 200 views in the first 24 hours, which doesn't sound like a lot, but to me, that is crazy because I always think if there was 200 people in a room, you'd be like, wow, this is a really good gig. So, yeah, thank you so much to everyone that checked that out and gave it, a little like. It means a lot. It's nice to know that I'm not speaking to myself on the internet 5 times a week. So, thank you so much for checking that one out, guys. So, today I am coming at you guys with a bit of a strange one. It's Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, I was recently going through my DVDs upstairs and I thought, hang on a minute. I know for a fact during COVID I bought all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres on DVD and I never actually watched them. And I'm not new to the Leatherface franchise. I absolutely adore the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not really a fan of the second one, which is quite controversial. The remake from 2003 is probably one of my favorite horror films of all time. Again, probably a bit controversial. And that's probably where my relationship with the franchise stops. So I did think, oh, what's one that I definitely haven't seen? And it was Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, going into it, I knew it was going to be a bit rocky. However, I didn't realize it'd be so bad. This film, it's not even that it's bad. It's not awful. It's just really, really bizarre. Um, and most Texas Chainsaw Massacre films they are just really bizarre. This one especially is just so weird. So before we get into it, you know the drill. Let's roll the trailers, and I will see you on the other side.
Some tales are told, then soon forgotten. But a legend is forever. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, from the producers of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the real terror begins. November 3rd.
Okay, so released in 1990, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre now currently, as of 2025, sits at a 2.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And yeah, the basic premise of this is 2 college students driving coast to coast are lured off the main highway onto a deserted Texas road. Here they're stalked by the menacing Leatherface and his demented family, a bizarre cannibalistic clan with blood on their hands and a feast on their minds. The students' only chance for escape is a survivalist with enough firepower to blast Leatherface and the rest of the grisly predators from hell. A depraved shocker of intense terror from the gruesome beginning to the bloody finish. Leatherface, the Saw, is family. Now, I can promise you that none of that happens in the film at all. What I gathered from this film was they go to there's kind of the way Texas Chainsaw Massacre works is there's always like a specific formula. So you can always kind of tap. Like it'd be great to do a drinking game watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre because you could be like, take a shot every time there's a Volkswagen, take a shot every time there's a roadkill, take a shot every time there's a petrol station, take a shot every time the female heroine jumps out of the window, and you'd be surprised how drunk you would get because it's all very similar. Now, I was really shocked that there wasn't a Volkswagen in this film, that it's actually a Mercedes, so they did get double points for that. But anyway, they are driving coast to coast, and there's kind of this awkward weird tension between the two of them where they kind of don't love each other anymore, X, Y, and Z. So they come across, no, they hit an armadillo, which is obviously a reference to the first film. And then the whole plot point is like, she can't kill this armadillo. She can't, face being that kind of person, and the boyfriend's kind of saying stuff like, "One day, like, life's gonna come at you, you need to be ready." And there's this big power stance with her holding this big rock, and it's quite a weird, I mean, it's alright, but it's quite a weird plot point to use in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Anyway, they head off, and they end up at a creepy petrol station with a, um the guy that works there. He's a bit crazy, and basically he is peeping on the girl as she's using the bathroom, and Tex, here's a cowboy Amy that's there, is defending him, and then there's a shoot off, and they have to drive away, and this is all a big facade to get them on the other road, to get them into Leatherface's house. And then that is where the story begins. The chase scene on the road is absolutely where the fucking absolute paedophile nonce who directed Jeepers Creepers, that's absolutely where he got the idea for Jeepers Creepers having a creepy van. You cannot tell me otherwise, because literally it's like shot for shot. I was watching it and I was like, guys, this is Jeepers Creepers, but obviously the Leatherface was made first, so he obviously watched this film and obviously was like, hang on a minute, that's a really good idea. So what if my film, Jeepers Creepers, does this exact same thing? And you can't convince me otherwise. You cannot convince me otherwise. Just saying. Just saying. When did Jeepers Creepers come out, actually? That's a really good idea. Let's have a look. 2001. So it's only 11 years later. He definitely was a fan of this film. 1,000%. 1,000%. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so as it then goes off, we meet Ken Four. He is the guy in Halloween, when Michael Myers, in the Rob Zombie's Halloween, when Michael Myers tries to steal his overalls, and he says something that he's like cooking a big poo because he like, had a burrito. It's him, an absolute incredible actor. Yeah, he is in this film, and he plays a really niche character. He's not someone that works. He's not a soldier in the army. He's just like somebody that's just like prepared, and he's just like known for being prepared, and he has like guns and shit, and he is driving the Jeep round, and the Jeep crashes, and he protects our main protagonist from Leatherface, is what I can gather. So that all happens, that all kicks off, and then they end up at the Sawyer family house. Now, we see this little girl, and this was actually quite a character because I did not know this was going to happen. I'm going to get the actual protagonist's name because I don't actually know. Michelle, she's called Michelle. So Michelle ends up at the Leatherface house, and there's a little girl, and she obviously thinks, "Oh my god, this girl's gonna get murdered by the guy with the chainsaw." So follows her upstairs, and this girl's got like a baby doll that's like a dead child as a baby doll. Fantastic set design, absolutely love it. And the girl literally pies her and gets a knife and stabs her, and the girl's like part of this family cult, and it's like a weird cannibal family that live in the Sawyer family, who weren't there in the original film. And when the film starts off, it says like the family were missing and stuff like that. But like literally, like the grandpa's in it, but then everyone else is a completely new character. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre does this a lot. Like it just jumps and gets a completely new family or completely new characters. So you just really have to roll with it. Like I went into this with no expectations, and I left with absolutely even less. Um, but yeah, there's like a mum, the mum or the grandma, and she's got like a voice thing in her throat where like she sounds like Alexa, basically. And they're all cannibals, and they're all kind of like preparing meat for grandpa. And there's a really good scene though where Michelle is running through the woods with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend falls over, basically. No, his boyfriend gets his leg through a bear trap, and Leatherface is behind her, and the guy's like, "Leave me behind, go!" And for like a split second, she's about to like save him, and then she's like, "Actually." actually, I will leave you behind, and legs it, then honestly, go for you, girl, because he was a shit boyfriend anyway. Absolutely a waste of space, in my opinion. So, yeah, so I'm sidetracking. So that all happens. She gets back to the house. She escapes because Benny comes back for her, and then they manage to escape. She manages to escape Leatherface because Leatherface then ends up in a pond in the water in the woods, and it's like an entire thing. You know what's really funny though is how they're all living in poverty, but Leatherface has like a perfect chrome fucking chainsaw that says the saw is family. Like, you can really tell that they were trying to be like Leatherface was gonna be the new Freddy Krueger, the new Michael Myers, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, New Line Cinema just bought the rights for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, hence why it's called Leatherface, and it really shows because it's like this was supposed to be his, like, Freddy Krueger glove, and instead it's this, like, platinum chrome, like, GTA style, like, chainsaw, and it's so bizarre because it's like when you watch this film, it's like someone running through the woods with, like, with a chainsaw. It's not very menacing. It's just giving like I ransacked not home bargains. Fucking hell, I fucking ransacked B&Q, and this is like a leaf blower. It kind of parodies itself by having it as like a chrome chainsaw. It's so bizarre. So Leatherface meets his demise. Oh, I'm gonna. Leatherface has a really weird, like, leg brace as well, and I don't know if that's because he gets his leg cut in the original, or if it's something that happens in number 2. I don't know how chronological these films are, but for some reason he has a leg brace, which is really weird. He is giving that one girl in high school that always had a leg brace on and was always in crutches for no reason. Like, that's what Leatherface was giving in this film, which is really crazy to me. Um So, yeah, that he meets his demise because he, like, drowns in a pond, and then Michelle gets away, and then Benny picks her up in a gas truck, and then they're all kind of out again, and then they get attacked again, and then they attack them back, and then they ride off into the sunset, and the film ends. It's really, really bizarre. And I don't really have much to say except it was really bizarre, and I was literally a bit speechless after watching it because what the hell was that about? I mean, I get it, but it's like if you don't understand the laws of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you'd be really confused. Like if you just put this film on thinking you were gonna get like a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 kind of vibes, you'll be really disappointed because it's not that. It's really not that. It's like it is honestly like a someone made like a fan movie for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I don't even think this has got a cult following because it's just not great. I mean, Leatherface himself in it, I think he is like the guy who portrays him is actually pretty good. Um And Tex as a character, I absolutely adore Tex as a character. Now, one thing I did wanna brush up on is a bit like I was saying before with Texas Chainsaw Massacre being, like, you could do, like, a drunk bingo with it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre has so much to do with, like, gender and queerness, and I'm not even saying this from, "Oh, it's an understanding," but, like, genuinely, like, the characters that we meet throughout this franchise are so queer coded. Tex is, like, such a bisexual, queer, like, gender fuck guy. Like, he, at first, is this, like, sexy cowboy with long hair, like, picking up chicks at the petrol station. And then we meet him back home, and he's got, like, red nail polish on, and he's wearing, like, a little, like, pinny, and, like, he's, like, the mom, like, cooking for everyone. And we see this, like, throughout the franchise, especially, like, with characters like Leatherface. You know, we've got Leatherface wearing his Pretty Woman mask and the apron and serving dinner and taking on these traditional domestic roles, and gender identity as a performance is kind of so strong within these films. And it's so unlike what you would think, like a film set in Texas with like guns and cowboys, but it's so like gender is it's I wouldn't say it's fragile with film. It's like the other way, and it's so obscure and so in your face about things. It's also it's not subtle, but it's not explained. It's just kind of in the world of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So essentially, if I was going to go in this way, so in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you could say that it is a home invasion movie because these characters in the original just stroll into Leatherface's house, right? And Leatherface is just simply protecting his family. Now, if you do it with the same kind of reading that way, it's kind of like these characters have these other gender identities, have these other gender roles, and it's not used in a negative way at all. It's not used to say like these people are murderers and they're transgender, and these people are cannibals and they're this. It's very like it's his character, and he dresses up in a pretty lady mask, and that's just who he is. It's got nothing to do with the fact that he's also chasing Myelin Burns around the woods with a chainsaw. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but like it's not explained, it's not delved into, it's part of the DNA of Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a franchise. You know, it's just his character's just like weird gender fuck people, and I absolutely love it. Like Tex is this like androgynistic cowboy who is wearing like silly aprons and then, then butching it up and being you know, being a bad bitch. I think it's very that. It's very that in a great way. So I think just like as a whole, this film, you can kind of tell that it didn't get off to the greatest starts. I think its pre-production was pretty cursed because it like I said, if I remember correctly, New Line Cinema bought the rights from Canon Film, and they were trying to make Leatherface this slasher icon, which he already was in his own right. And then they hired Jeff Burr, who was a director. And then I think I read something that they fired him, and then they tried to give the job to like 50 more people, and no one wanted this job. So they rehired Jeff Burns to finish making this film, which is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then I think also the original cut was a lot more brutal than this, but it got absolutely shredded by the studios, which is absolutely no shock. Um, so I think that you can really tell, because I do think there's a lot of heart in this film. Like as much as I've just ripped it to shred over the past 20 minutes, I think you can kind of tell there was a lot of love there, as much as it's a fucking stupid movie. And obviously, by the time it's been put through the beat grinder of kind of post production, this is what you're left with. And I mean, it didn't. What I can say is it didn't kill the franchise because it is still kicking and breathing today. Stranger, this has been the second Texas Chainsaw Massacre podcast episode I've done because I also did the one from 2022, I want to say. And I will be doing one on Next Generation because I've just finished watching that one as well. So yeah, okay. I think we're done here. I think that's everything. Thank you so much for listening to Don't Press Play. If you like the show, leave a review and send me your worst horror movie picks, or just drop by to say hi. I'm Alex, and I will see you next time, probably elbow deep in another franchise that should have stopped after one movie. Bye, guys.
It's